The evidence is overwhelming. Managers who are higher in emotional intelligence have more engaged teams, and they're likely to have greater career success. Welcome to this latest series of How to Work with Humans. At Threshold, we train business leaders in the art of getting the best out of human beings. And here we explore the standout topics from our recent sessions and the science behind them. The truly exciting thing about emotional intelligence is that it's not a fixed quantity. There are methods you can use to develop and strengthen it. Here's one of those methods: emotional granularity. And the evidence is clear. It works. Now, you may have seen the Pixar movie Inside Out. It follows the emotional life of Riley, a 12-year-old girl going through some big life changes. The 5 core emotions are represented by 5 characters in Riley's head. They are joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger. It's a touching and thoughtful movie, but we now know its central metaphor to be wrong, at least in a neurobiological sense. Now, it had long been believed that evolution had pre-programmed us humans with a set number of core emotions in our neural circuitry. But in her fascinating book, How Emotions Are Made, psychologist and neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett argues that this isn't how it works. Contrary to our intuition, our emotions are in fact constructed by our minds in the moment. The mind first senses what's going on in the body and compares this with sensory information about what's happening in the world around us. The mind then combines these 2 inputs with its own concept of potential emotions to construct the emotion. Then our mind keeps checking this prediction against what's going on in the outside world and course correcting. But let's loop back to that important phrase. The mind draws on its concept of potential emotions. So it follows that the better and more finely tuned our understanding of the various potential or possible emotions people may have, the more we can understand them in ourselves and in others and do something about them. Thinking about and describing the potential emotions that people might have and being able to differentiate between them boosts our emotional intelligence. And this is what's known as emotional granularity. And so using words to describe emotions in as finely tuned and sophisticated way as possible will enhance your EQ. These are things that we encourage leaders to work on, and they make a difference. For example, are you disappointed, or are you disheartened, discouraged, disillusioned, or perhaps dejected? Are you pleased, or are you satisfied, gratified, charmed, or thrilled? You can seek out and learn those words in various languages that describe specific emotional states or experiences that we don't have a direct equivalent for in English, like the German word Schadenfreude, meaning a guilty sense of glee at someone else's misfortune, or the French word dépaysement, that feeling of being in a foreign environment, disorientated. There's even an Inuit word for the feeling of anticipation when you're waiting for someone to show up at your home and keep looking outside to see if they've arrived yet. And here's another thing you can try. Think about those emotions or feelings that many of us recognize but don't have a specific word to describe them. In other words, those complex emotional concepts that are commonly experienced but are not encapsulated in a single term. Mine would be that feeling of happiness because it's a beautiful day outside, mixed with stress because of the feeling or pressure to go and make the most of it by doing something enjoyable or productive. Or that anxiety that comes from achieving a significant goal and then feeling that pressure to maintain that level of success or worry about what comes next. The more you're able to describe emotions, the more you're able to understand emotions in yourself and in others. Work on your emotional literacy. Find better, more accurate, more descriptive words. Learn new words and think about those emotional states that don't have words to describe them but should. Better still, invent your own words. It will genuinely boost your EQ. To find out more about Threshold and how we can help leaders in your organization to get the best out of human beings, go to threshold.co.uk. You can watch the rest of our How to Work with Humans series on our channel. Do share and subscribe.